Something huge just happened. A financial and technological shockwave has just been sent across the globe. And you know the crazy part? The epicenter is right here, in Vietnam. Nvidia's CEO Jensen Huang just made a move that completely reshuffles the deck, and it's all backed by a mind-boggling $500 billion strategy. Okay, let's just take a second and really look at this number. $500 billion. This isn't just a big investment, folks. This is the kind of money that can literally rewrite the future of an entire country. We're talking about something that's going to hit your salary, your investments, and even what our kids decide to study in school. So the question is, are we looking at the single biggest opportunity for creating wealth in Vietnam's modern history? Let's dig in. And that really brings us to the core question, doesn't it? The one we're here to answer. With all the options in the world, why on earth is a titan like Nvidia betting the farm on Vietnam? Why are they calling it their second home? Well, to get that, we first have to understand the deal itself. It's brilliant. All right, let's get into the mechanics of this, because this isn't your typical investment. Not at all. This is a masterclass in financial engineering, a perfect closed-loop system that's designed to do two things: make a ton of money and cement Nvidia's total and complete control over the entire AI industry. The easiest way to get your head around this is with a simple story. Think of Nvidia as the rich, powerful father. He's built a massive empire making computer hardware. And then you have OpenAI, who's like the genius son, just an incredible mind, capable of changing the world. But he's always hungry for more computing power. So here's how the genius loop works. Step 1. Dad, Nvidia, gives his son OpenAI $100 billion. Step 2. OpenAI immediately turns around and uses that cash to rent supercomputers from giants like Microsoft and Oracle to train its huge AI models. Step 3, and here's the kicker. To handle that massive demand from OpenAI, what do Microsoft and Oracle have to do? They have to buy mountains of the best, most expensive GPUs from, you got it, Nvidia. So in step 4, that original $100 billion comes right back home to Nvidia, only now it's revenue with massive profits attached. They literally invented their own best customer. It's incredible. And that single move ignites something much bigger: an industry-wide AI arms race. See, once OpenAI has this new super-powered setup, what do you think competitors like Google and Meta have to do? They have no choice. They have to scramble and buy the exact same weapons just to stay in the game. And who's the only one selling those weapons? Nvidia. So what's the end result of all this? Well, from that one brilliant cycle, estimates show Nvidia is on track to rake in a net profit of around $350 billion. They don't just sell a product. They basically get a 25% piece of the most important AI company on the planet for free. Seriously, they're going to be teaching this one in business schools for the next 50 years. But okay, once you have that much cash, you have a new problem. Where do you build the future? And this is where the story pivots and becomes incredibly personal for all of us. With all this power, all this capital, Nvidia could have chosen anywhere in the world to build out its AI empire. And the answer they came to, the one their CEO Jensen Huang keeps repeating, is Vietnam. Now, let's be really clear about this. When a CEO of this caliber says something like this, it's not just him being polite. In this world, every single word is measured and carries weight. This is a strategic declaration. It's a signal to the entire world, backed by the most rigorous economic and geopolitical analysis money can buy. Of course, you've got the obvious reasons, the ones everybody talks about. The whole China plus one strategy. To diversify supply chains, that's a big one. Vietnam's rock-solid political stability. And of course, the people. A young, super smart, tech-savvy population that's producing this incredible new wave of engineers. But here's the thing, those are just the basics. That's the price of entry. That's not enough for a bet this big. The real reason, the secret sauce, is a very rare combination. You have this explosive, almost chaotic economic growth, but it's happening alongside incredibly mature and responsible leadership. You know, a really interesting sign of this actually comes from something we all complain about: the crazy price of apartments in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City. Now, for most of us, it's a huge headache. But if you're a global investor, you see that and you think, wow, that economy is on fire. Prices are skyrocketing because a brand new class of wealthy, high-paid tech workers is being created faster than the city can build apartments for them. It's what you'd call a high-quality problem. But a hot economy on its own can be risky. That's where the second piece comes in: how the government is steering the ship. When the prime minister says something like this, it sends a powerful signal to investors. It says, we're not just chasing growth at any cost. We're building a stable, fair society for the long haul. And look, this isn't just talk. It's backed up by real action, like the government's massive commitment to build 1 million social housing units. That shows a focus on the well-being of its people. And for someone like Jensen Huang, who's thinking in terms of decades, that kind of long-term stability and social cohesion is priceless. It's the ultimate de-risking factor. So we've looked at the big picture, the genius financial loop, and the smart bet on Vietnam. But what does any of this actually mean for you? For your career, your family, your wallet? Well, the impact is going to be direct, and it's going to be profound. First off, the job market. This isn't just a few new jobs. This is a revolution. Nvidia's arrival is going to create a massive, unprecedented demand for top-tier talent. We're talking AI engineers, data scientists, machine learning experts. These aren't your standard IT gigs. These are the people who will build the future. And get this, their salaries won't be based on local standards. They'll be based on global standards. We are talking about six-figure US dollar salaries being earned right here. And it's so important to understand that this isn't just a game for the big corporations. The AI infrastructure that Nvidia is building will be like a public utility, like electricity. Thousands of small businesses and startups will be able to plug into it. Think about a small coffee shop using AI to perfectly predict its inventory, or a startup in Da Nang creating an amazing new app for tourists. That's the kind of innovation this will unleash. Okay, so you see what's happening. You understand the scale of it. The natural next question is, how do I get involved? How do I go from being someone who works in this new economy to someone who owns a piece of it? Let's lay out a couple of simple roadmaps. So you've really got two main plays here. The most direct route is to just bet on the king, Nvidia itself. They're the only arms dealer in this whole AI war, which gives them an incredible strategic position. The other play, which is maybe a little closer to home, is to invest in the local champion, FPT Corporation. FPT is Nvidia's key strategic partner here. They're the bridge. So an investment in FPT is really an indirect bet on Nvidia's success, but with a local focus. All right, let's zoom out one last time, because what we're witnessing here is so much more than just a business deal or a hot stock tip. This is a fundamental turning point. It's the start of a deep transformation of our entire national identity. For decades, our success story was being the world's factory. Our brand was made in Vietnam, built on efficient assembly lines and a hard-working labor force. And that was great. But that chapter is closing. This moment marks the pivot to a brand new identity, the world's AI brain. We're shifting from assembly lines to research and development centers, from low-cost labor to top-tier talent. We are graduating from made in Vietnam to the far more powerful created in Vietnam. Now, let's be real. This road ahead is not going to be easy. There are huge challenges. We've got a major talent gap that we need to fix with urgent education reform. Our infrastructure, especially our power grid, is going to be pushed to its limits. And maybe most importantly, we have to make sure the new wealth doesn't just go to a tiny few. That vision of fair, equitable growth is going to be tested. We literally have to learn to move at the speed of AI. The history of our lifetime, of the 21st century, is going to be written in the language of artificial intelligence. And for the first time, Vietnam has a golden ticket. We have a chance to not just read that history, but to pick up the pen and be one of its main authors. A new chapter has just begun. The only question is, what are we going to write?